They took millions from Africa. But one man refused to kneel. Born a slave, yet destined to wear a crown. He rose from the chains of bondage to build a kingdom so powerful, it threatened the greed of the British Empire itself. They sent warships, they sent lies, but they couldn't break his spirit. From the muddy shores of Bonny to the golden halls of London, his name echoed across continents, feared by merchants, revered by his people. This is not just history, it's rebellion, betrayal, and pride. The untold story of the man who became King Jaja of Opobo. Between the 15th and 19th centuries, nearly 20 million Africans were captured and enslaved. By 1800, Africa's population was estimated to be barely half of what it could have been without the slave trade. Any story about the fall of slavery in present-day Nigeria would be incomplete without the mention of men who rose against it. Among them, none stood taller than King Jaja of Opobo, a man born in chains, yet destined to wear a crown. King Jaja, the first ruler and founder of the Opobo city-state in today's Rivers State, Nigeria, began life as a slave. His birth name remains unknown, as does the identity of his parents. He was captured as a child in Igbo land during a time of chaos, when European merchants and local raiders exchanged human lives for guns, bullets, and tobacco. Sold first to a master on Bonny Island, and later to Chief Alali, head of the Ana People House, he was renamed Jaja by British traders who struggled to pronounce his original name. In those early days, the wealth of coastal city-states like Bonny depended on the slave trade. But by 1807, after its abolition, palm oil became the new gold, fueling the Industrial Revolution in Europe. Jaja, shrewd and ambitious, quickly adapted. Through his intelligence and charisma, he rose from servitude to leadership of the Ana People House, expanding trade routes and uniting rival factions under his command. However, growing rivalry within Bonny's merchant houses soon led to conflict. When tensions erupted, Jaja led his followers to form a new settlement in 1869, the Kingdom of Opobo. From there, he declared independence from Bonny, controlling the vital palm oil trade routes of the Niger Delta. 14 of the region's 18 major trading houses soon pledged allegiance to him, making Opobo one of the wealthiest and most powerful city-states in West Africa. King Jaja's brilliance lay in his ability to outthink his opponents. He not only dominated trade, but also restricted British merchants from accessing the interior, ensuring Opobo maintained monopoly over its palm oil. At times, Jaja even shipped his goods directly to Liverpool, cutting out the British middlemen entirely. This independence made him both admired and feared. To his people, he was a symbol of freedom and self-determination. To the British, he was a defiant obstacle to their colonial ambitions. As his power grew, so did the tension with British merchants like John Holt of Liverpool, who accused Jaja of obstructing free trade. But Jaja refused to submit. He enforced his own tariffs, punished those who traded secretly with Europeans, and executed those who betrayed Opobo's economic sovereignty. To the British, this was unacceptable, a native king challenging their authority in a region they sought to dominate. At the Berlin Conference of 1884, European powers divided Africa among themselves, and the Niger Delta was declared a British sphere of influence. The British then moved to bring Jaja under control. In 1887, Vice-Consul Henry Hamilton Johnston arrived in Opobo aboard the warship HMS Goshawk. Under the pretense of peace talks, he invited King Jaja aboard, promising him safety. But once Jaja stepped on deck, the tone changed. Johnston presented him with two choices: allow British merchants unrestricted access to his territory, or face bombardment of his kingdom. Jaja, true to his principles, refused to surrender his people's independence. He was arrested on the spot, taken first to Accra for trial and then exiled to London. There, he met Queen Victoria and became a guest at Buckingham Palace. What transpired in their meetings remains a mystery, but soon after, he was deported to the Caribbean, first to Barbados and later to St. Vincent. Even in exile, Jaja's charisma and leadership stirred unrest among locals, who saw in him the spirit of African dignity and resistance. After years of petitions and protests from his people, the British finally agreed to let him return home in 1891, but the journey home would be his last. While en route, Jaja reportedly died from poisoning, allegedly after drinking a cup of tea. He never set foot again on his beloved Opobo soil. His body was buried in Tenerife, Canary Islands, before being exhumed years later and reinterred with honor in Opobo. With his death, Opobo's influence declined, and British colonial control expanded across the Niger Delta. Yet, King Jaja's legacy endured. To this day, he is remembered not as a ruler who bowed to empire, but as a man who rose from slavery to sovereignty, a symbol of courage, intellect, and unyielding pride. With his death, Opobo's influence declined, and British colonial control expanded across the Niger Delta. Yet, King Jaja's legacy endured. To this day, he is remembered not as a ruler who bowed to empire, but as a man who rose from slavery to sovereignty, a symbol of courage, intellect, and unyielding pride. His resting place, now a sacred shrine behind the palace of the Amaigbo of Opobo, stands as a reminder that even in the darkest times, freedom has its defenders. King Jaja's story remains one of Africa's greatest testaments to resilience, the tale of a man who proved that greatness can rise from captivity and that no chain can bind the will of a free spirit.